Salutations and welcome to Tinkering About, the weekly review series that I do, and I realize if any of you have been keeping track, I didn't do a review last week, and for that I apologize. I sort of woke up, was still a bit tired, and then thought, I was supposed to do a Tinkering About, and completely forgot. And for that I'm sorry. But this week we are looking at Dawngate, which is a new MOBA being developed by Waystone Games and published by EA. And it's currently in closed beta. If you would like to play it, there is a key in the description box down below, which you can go on their website, which is also linked down there, and you can play it and have some fun. Maybe even play with me if we happen to run into each other. But anyway, it's got some pretty fresh ideas. I really like them. They're new and interesting compared to most other MOBAs. Currently, the game only has one map in it, and that's the one that I'm playing on. And it's built pretty well for 5v5, which again is the only type of thing which you can do. You can play as solo, which is just yourself, teamed up with a whole load of other people, 5v5. You can play as a group, where you bring your buddies in. I just died, sad face. Or you can create a custom game with, obviously, 9 of your other friends. And this map is pretty cool. It has 2 lanes, and it has a central boss, round Shmyar, called the Parasite, and the Parasite evolves twice over the course of the entire match, and killing it grants a lot of Vim, which is money, as well as a buff, which gives you power and health regen to all of the champions, which are not called champions in this, they're called Shapers. And they all have their own specific class, they're all put together, and there's currently 20 of them in the game. And the map also has things called Spirit Wells, which are these things here, where you have little minions gathering up Vim, and each team starts off with 2, and they are considered so influential that you could actually consider them a way of winning the game, a second way of winning, because if my team controlled 3 of them, or all of them, it would sometimes cause the enemy team to actually give up early, because they grant so much Vim and so much money that you could just get access to items really early on in the game, and it's really nice. So essentially you could buff your character and become pretty powerful pretty early if you hold a lot of them. Minions and towers also work quite a bit differently compared to most other MOBAs out there. Also, for those of you who have heard MOBA and know what MOBA is but don't actually know what it means, a MOBA is a multiplayer online battle arena, which makes sense. I never really knew what it was for a while, but I soon figured out what it was when I was told. It makes sense that it should be called that. But yeah, the towers in this aren't called towers, they're called bindings. And in each lane, there's obviously a series of bindings. And for each binding that gets destroyed, siege minions, which in this are called striders, get a big buff. And if you knock out all of the bindings in one lane, then the striders get a big increase, and they actually later on in the game start acting like champions. Well, Shapers. I call them champions because it's what they're usually referred to. That's how powerful they can become. And I really like that about that. And if you can survive long enough... Now this really is a case of you really have to survive if you want this to happen. If a binding is destroyed, it will soon respawn if it's not attacked for a while. So if you can hold out for long enough for that to happen, that can be a great comeback near the end of the game or mid-game. Just all of a sudden, boom, you got your bindings back, and that's extra defense. And instead of a core, like in some games where... Oh, well, League of Legends. There's not much point dancing around it. Like in League of Legends, where you have to destroy the core which spawns all of the minions, and I just died again. You have this big monster, which is a bit like something out of Smite, like a raid-type boss. And make no mistake, it is powerful as all hell. I mean, look at that. It has 3 health bars, and it has no lack of powerful attacks to throw at you when you go for it. And that's something I really like about the game. You can focus on killing enemy Shapers, but ultimately you're going to want to focus on the big guy, which means you're going to want to get a whole load of items, level up really high so that you can actually have decent abilities, and get good items. So really, it's a mixture of getting both the Spirit Wells, which is what the wells are called, and items and money and everything to try and win. So like I said... People might surrender if you hold a lot of the wells, but that happens rarely, because so far I haven't actually come across any bot games. It's always players versus players. So ultimately you want to take out that big boss at the end. There are currently 20 Shapers available in this game to be played as, and there are 5 free Shapers every 2 weeks, but you can purchase them with the in-game currency after a very small number of matches, which I think is really nice. They don't make you pay out loads of real money just to get a couple of champions for you to fight with. And a nice little thing as well, as you can probably see down here, Shapers don't really have to worry about mana. It's mainly just a cooldown, because look, boop. See, that number didn't go down because that's not mana. I believe that's my health. So there's just... And another good thing about that as well is the fact that the items also don't have mana things. The items will buff up your character's specific stats. So it will make your character better instead of thinking, oh, I need to use my mana and then I need to get back to the base so that I can actually respawn some. And it's just... it gets a bit confusing whenever I play any other kind of MOBA like League of Legends, where suddenly I'm doing some attacks and then I find I have to run away and go back to the base and get my mana and my health back just so I can actually do something. So that's a really nice thing that they have in this as well. And the items are set up in, since I'm dead, this pretty makes a good time to show you this. The items, as you can see here, are set up in paths. And it starts off with your basic path, your advanced path, as you can see here. I'm going to buy this right now. And then you've got your legendary, which is the beefiest, the best of the best, basically. And there are no wards in this game. Well, there obviously are wards, but you don't get them in the shop. Each champion gets given them, obviously with a cooldown, but you just get them for free. You have a ward. And down here, there are 2 extra slots for the consumables which you can use. So instead of having, like in League of Legends, that is quite a big thing to refer to, instead of having 6 slots, buying a health potion and it taking up one of these slots, no, it takes up 2 consumables and you still have the 6 slots for your items. Which, again, is really nice. It gives you more space, a bit more freedom to do as you please. And I like that. In the selection screen as well, before the game actually starts, you can indicate to all the other players that you're going to play with if you want to be a gladiator, a tactician, a predator, or a hunter. And they all have their own special, unique roles. A gladiator has increased gain from last hitting minions, or from killing minions. So you get some extra money from them, which is quite nice. The Predator kills the enemy Shapers, so you're focusing, you're telling everyone that you're going to be going for the Shapers, that's who you're going to be killing, that's what you're going to be doing. And you get 135% increased income if you kill a Shaper, which is a lot of money. A Tactician is there to harass the enemy Shapers, and it's basically territory control. And the Hunter is essentially for jungle. You go into the jungle and you kill the enemies. And they also have a very nice, interesting, and this is very interesting, loadout section, which is unlike anything that I've actually seen before. And this is the loadout screen. Now, it's, as I'm sure you can guess straight off the bat, it's not like most other MOBA games. And these little tiles here, which I'm going to take out, don't want them. This is where you go to create your loadout. And the tiles that you just saw are spirit stones. And that's these little biddies here that you can put in. They all have different things. Like unique passive, Berserker. You take 5% less damage for 2 seconds after damaging an enemy Shaper. They've all got their own unique things. And I like it. And these little holes here, if I go to this tab, these are sparks. Now, there are all kinds of different kinds of sparks that you can make. In here, in the crafting mode, which you make with the crafting resource, you make all these different little bits. But, however, we only have access to these at the moment. And I have 4 of the red sparks of health, 2 of the green sparks of power, and 4 of the blue sparks of haste. Now, with these, you can stick whatever you want. See? There you go. Plus 0.4 power. Whereas if I was to put it in here, it'd still be the same. And if I put a red one in here, I get plus 4.7 health, and then put that there, get a bit of power, put that in there, your health goes up again. So these ones consist of, you can put whatever you want in them, doesn't really matter. You see, you get the same, you can put what you want in. You get the same everywhere, it's all the same. However, it works better if you put the correct colour in the correct slot. So if we just quickly make one here, let's go with, well, we've got 4, so may as well go with this one again. 70.9 health and 5.8 power. Stick these in. It makes a nice little tune as well. This Lovely. Nice little tune. And you already got a load of health because you filled the whole thing up, so you get all the bits that come with it. 70.9 health, 5.8 power, and some haste because of all these bits that you stuck in. And now, if I go with, say, that one, and don't actually have one that will fit in there, which is the same. So I think I'm going to have to get rid of that. Put that one in. Well, can you rotate? You can rotate. Alright, so if we get rid of that, and there you go, you got this. So now stick in a red one, red one, red one, 2 greens, and a red. There you filled up the whole thing. You now got a whole load of health, whole load of little diddly bits, and I use the Berserker one, so I have a unique passive. And this acts a bit like the runes out of League of Legends. So you can easily just reset them, make others, and it's fine. You do that, just tick will fit, and it shows you the ones that will fit. It's a really nice system, and I like it. I really like how they've done it. These are the shapers here that I was telling you about. As you can see, you've got Mage, Bruiser, Carry, Support, Tank, and Assassin. They've all got their own little shaper, and I like how they've done it. They've given you categories to choose from. And I hope you've all enjoyed this little review of Dawngate that I did. Tripped up over my own words for a minute there, I apologise for that. But I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, stay tuned for more, and don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to see more of this stuff. Any advice? Let me know. Like it if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't. And I'll see you all in the next video of whatever I do.